Welcome, the rare gems. Freedom is not the absence of obligation, but the ability to choose. Take the story of a woman who's always been told what she should do: graduate, get a job, marry, fit into a mold. She does everything she's expected to, but deep down, something doesn't feel right. She doesn't find fulfillment in the routine, the social pressures, or the constant need to meet others' standards. Instead of accepting the system's rules, she starts thinking differently. She questions what she's been taught and challenges the path laid out for her. Slowly but surely, she begins to break away from the noise, following her own direction, fueled by her own values. That woman is a Sigma female. If you're reading this, chances are you felt the same pull, the urge to step outside the boundaries of what others define for you. The Matrix relies on making people conform, telling them who they should be and what they should want. But the Sigma female isn't interested in fitting into someone else's narrative. She creates her own. You are more than the roles the world tries to place on you. If you're someone who questions, who doesn't follow the crowd, and who feels the need to forge your own path, this video is for you. Watch it to understand why the Matrix can't control someone like you and how your power lies in living beyond its expectations. Let's dive in the rare gems. Number 1. She can't be bought. The Sigma female is immune to one of the Matrix's most powerful control tactics: materialism. While the system thrives on transactions, money, status, and possessions as symbols of success and power, she doesn't play by those rules. To the Matrix, everything has a price, and people can be bought, manipulated, or swayed by their desire for wealth, recognition, or security. But the Sigma female isn't interested in what money or status can offer. Her values don't hinge on material gain, they come from within. She isn't swayed by luxury or the promise of social elevation because her sense of worth is anchored in something deeper. The things that others chase, big houses, expensive cars, endless approval, don't hold the same power over her. To her, these are fleeting distractions, not the true measures of success. She doesn't need to be validated by a paycheck, a title, or the praise of others. Her life is defined by her principles, autonomy, and personal growth, not by external markers of success. This detachment from materialism makes her unpredictable and uncontrollable. The Matrix relies on people's desires for things it can offer, using wealth and status as bait to lure them into compliance. But the Sigma female isn't moved by these temptations because her motivations come from a completely different place. She doesn't need what the system offers to feel fulfilled, which makes her impossible to manipulate through the usual means. Her independence from material control is a threat to the Matrix. It can't buy her loyalty, sway her decisions, or trap her into its web because she simply doesn't care about what it can give her. She's already rich in values, purpose, and self-respect, making her the most dangerous kind of person to a system that thrives on transactional influence. Number 2. She questions the programming at its core. The Sigma female doesn't just question the rules. She targets the very system that created them. While most people accept the structures and beliefs they've been handed, the Sigma female doesn't just ask, "Why is this the way it is?" She digs deeper, asking, "Who benefits from me believing this?" This type of interrogation isn't surface level. It cuts to the heart of the system, exposing its reliance on blind compliance to function. The Matrix thrives on people's unquestioning acceptance of its programming, society's expectations, cultural norms, and prescribed paths. These are the things that keep people in line, constantly striving for approval, wealth, or status, never questioning the underlying motives that make those desires so powerful. But the Sigma female doesn't fall into the trap of unexamined belief. She doesn't take the rules at face value. Instead, she understands that these societal constructs are designed to control, to herd people into predictable patterns that serve the system, not the individual. By asking the right questions, she not only challenges the narrative, she deconstructs it. This isn't about defiance for the sake of it. It's about uncovering the truth and stripping away the layers of manipulation that the Matrix hides behind. The deeper she goes, the more exposed the system becomes. The Matrix can't thrive without the trust and compliance of those who blindly follow its rules. and the Sigma female's refusal to comply leaves it vulnerable. Her ability to question the very framework that holds the system together makes her a true anomaly. She doesn't just reject the programming, she exposes it as flawed, unnecessary, and ultimately built to keep people trapped. With every question, she chips away at its foundation, leaving it weaker and less effective. The Matrix loses its power when faced with someone who sees through its design, and the Sigma female is the one who pulls back the curtain to reveal it for what it truly is, a system that survives only on the blind obedience of those too afraid to question. Number 3. She sees through social conditioning. The Sigma female has an uncanny ability to see through the facade of social conditioning. While most people unknowingly conform to societal norms, chasing what they've been told is success, happiness, or purpose, she steps back and questions everything. She doesn't just ask why certain rules exist. She dissects who benefits from them and at whose expense. The Matrix depends on these unspoken norms to control behavior, but she exposes them for what they are: tools of manipulation. For her, societal expectations hold no authority. She doesn't measure her worth by traditional milestones like status, wealth, or relationships, because she understands that these are constructs designed to keep people chasing goals that serve the system, not themselves. While others live under the weight of shoulds and musts, she dismantles their relevance entirely. She doesn't rebel for rebellion's sake. She simply refuses to let outdated ideals dictate her life. Her approach isn't about loud defiance, it's about quiet liberation. She chooses her own path, one that aligns with her values and truth, regardless of how unconventional it may seem. The Matrix, which thrives on conformity, can't control someone who doesn't even acknowledge its standards. When others scramble to fit in, she creates a life that fits her, free from the influence of societal programming. This freedom makes her dangerous to the system. She's not just rejecting the norms, it's deeper than that. By living outside the script, she shows others that the script itself is meaningless. The Matrix loses its grip when people stop believing in its rules, and the Sigma female is proof that those rules never mattered to begin with. She's not just escaping the system, she's showing the world that the system was a lie all along. Number 4. Emotional sovereignty is her weapon. The Sigma female's greatest strength lies in her emotional sovereignty. While most people tie their worth and happiness to the opinions, actions, or approval of others, she operates on a completely different frequency. She doesn't outsource her emotional well-being to anyone, not to a partner, family, friends, or society at large. Her sense of self is built on an unshakable foundation she's carefully crafted from within, which makes her immune to the emotional traps the world often uses to control people. When the Matrix tries to manipulate her through fear, guilt, or shame, it hits a dead end. She doesn't react the way most do because her emotions aren't dictated by the external chaos around her. She doesn't crumble under criticism, nor does she chase after praise. She understands that these are tools of control designed to keep people compliant, seeking approval, and easy to predict. By refusing to play that game, she becomes untouchable. This isn't cold detachment, it's clarity. She feels deeply, but her emotions are her own. They're not conditioned by the opinions of others or swayed by societal expectations. She knows where her boundaries are and enforces them unapologetically. Her strength doesn't come from shutting people out, but from being so in tune with herself that she doesn't depend on anyone else for her peace of mind. This emotional independence makes her impossible to manipulate. People can't guilt her into submission or flatter her into compliance. The Matrix thrives on exploiting insecurities, but with the Sigma female, there are no cracks in her armor. Her emotional sovereignty is her ultimate weapon, rendering her immune to control and turning her into a force the system can't subdue. Number 5. She destroys labels, not just escapes them. The Sigma female isn't interested in fitting into categories or aligning herself with labels. While others spend their lives searching for the right box to belong to, whether it's societal roles, career identities, or personality archetypes, she completely dismantles the need for those labels in the first place. To her, labels are just another tool of control. They're designed to define, limit, and dictate who someone is supposed to be. and she refuses to let anyone or anything define her. This isn't about rebellion or resistance for its own sake. She understands that once you accept a label, you're accepting the rules, expectations, and limitations that come with it. Even so-called empowering labels are often just another form of confinement. By rejecting all of it, she becomes an anomaly in a world desperate to categorize her. The Matrix, which thrives on predictability and conformity, can't understand someone who operates outside its language of definitions. The Sigma female's identity is fluid, authentic, and self-defined. She knows she's complex, and she embraces that complexity without needing a label to simplify it for others. Her existence isn't about proving she's different or special. It's about living freely, without the constraints of societal tags. Because she destroys the concept of labels, the Matrix has no framework to control her. It can't manipulate someone it doesn't understand, nor can it enforce rules on someone who doesn't recognize their authority. By obliterating labels, she frees herself from the expectations, judgments, and roles society tries to impose. This makes her an uncontainable force, someone who can't be boxed in, silenced, or subdued. To the Matrix, she's not just a challenge. She's an unsolvable equation. A heartfelt thank you to you, Rare Gems, for being a cherished part of this community. Your encouragement and support inspire me to keep producing content that matters. I deeply appreciate you. Number 6. She sees beyond the illusion of choice. The Sigma female has a unique ability to see through the illusion of choice. While most people believe they're in control of their lives because they're given options, she recognizes that these choices are often just two sides of the same coin, both designed to keep them confined within the system. The Matrix thrives on this trick, offering carefully curated paths that appear different but ultimately lead to the same outcome: control. But she doesn't fall for it. She doesn't just ask which option is best. She asks, who created these options and why? This mindset allows her to see the hidden agendas and limitations behind the choices presented to her. Whether it's the illusion of career freedom, social expectations, or personal relationships, she spots the strings pulling the puppets, and instead of picking from what's offered, she creates her own path entirely. Her refusal to play by these rules makes her unpredictable and uncontrollable. The Matrix relies on people choosing from its pre-designed options, knowing exactly how each decision will feed back into the system. But the Sigma female's ability to bypass these traps means she's always one step ahead. She doesn't feel pressured to pick what's normal or safe because she understands that real freedom doesn't come from what you're offered, it comes from what you create. By crafting her own options, she completely sidesteps the system's influence. The Matrix can't control someone who refuses to participate in its game. She reclaims her autonomy, proving that true freedom isn't about having choices, it's about refusing to be limited by the ones you're given. This level of clarity and independence makes her a force the system can't predict, manipulate, or contain. Number 7. Her self-validation is unhackable. The Sigma female is a fortress when it comes to self-validation. While most people are wired to seek approval from others, whether it's through praise, likes, or societal recognition, she is built differently. Her confidence doesn't waver with external opinions because it comes from a place so deeply rooted within her that no one can touch it. This unshakable sense of self isn't an act or a facade, it's who she is at her core. The Matrix thrives on insecurity. It feeds on the human need to be liked, validated, and accepted, using these desires to manipulate and control. Most people bend to the system because they fear rejection or crave acknowledgement. But the Sigma female is immune to these tactics. She doesn't need anyone to tell her she's good enough because she already knows. Compliments don't inflate her, and criticism doesn't break her. She values feedback only if it aligns with her own truth. Otherwise, it holds no power over her. This self-assuredness makes her untouchable. The Matrix has no leverage over someone who doesn't care about playing the approval game. It can't sell her its ideals of success, beauty, or worth because she defines those on her own terms. There are no cracks in her foundation for the system to exploit, no insecurities it can magnify to bring her under control. Her self-validation is more than just confidence. It's an unhackable code. It's what allows her to move through the world with quiet strength, indifferent to the opinions of the crowd. This makes her a threat to the matrix, which depends on people doubting themselves to stay in power. For the Sigma female, the system holds no influence because her worth was never up for debate. Number 8. She's an unpredictable anomaly. The Sigma female is the ultimate wildcard in a system that thrives on predictability. The matrix, like any system of control, is built to track patterns and predict behavior. It relies on people following trends, routines, and societal norms, making it easy to manipulate their choices. But the Sigma female operates outside these patterns entirely. Her decisions are so unconventional and original that even the most advanced algorithms can't keep up. Her unpredictability doesn't come from chaos or impulsiveness. It's rooted in her independence. She doesn't follow trends, chase approval, or conform to expectations, which means her actions don't fit the predictable molds the system relies on. While others move in herds, reacting in predictable ways to social cues, she carves her own path, often choosing the unexpected simply because it aligns with her values, not because it's popular or expected. This inability to be tracked or anticipated makes her a true anomaly. The matrix can't control someone whose next move defies its programming. When it tries to push her in one direction, she sidesteps entirely, often taking a route no one else even considered. She refuses to be predictable, not as an act of rebellion, but as a natural extension of her independent thinking. Her unconventional approach isn't loud or dramatic, it's precise and deliberate. She disrupts the system not by fighting it head-on, but by existing as a force it can't categorize, predict, or manipulate. In a world obsessed with control, her unpredictability is the ultimate threat. To the matrix, she's not just a glitch in the system, she's the reason it can never truly win. Number 9. She doesn't fear loss. The Sigma female has an incredible ability to remain unshaken by the fear of loss, a power that makes her nearly invincible in a world built on insecurity and attachment. While most people are ruled by the anxiety of losing relationships, possessions, or status, she has mastered the art of detachment. She understands that loss is a natural part of life, but she doesn't let it define her or control her actions. For the matrix, fear of loss is one of its most effective tools. It uses this fear to drive people to cling to fleeting things, whether it's money, popularity, or relationships. These attachments are precisely what keeps people trapped in the system, constantly striving for what they might lose. But the Sigma female isn't dependent on anything external for her sense of self-worth. She isn't afraid to walk away from situations, people, or opportunities that no longer align with her values, knowing that her peace isn't tied to external circumstances. This detachment is not coldness or indifference. It's a deep understanding that her true value comes from within, not from what she possesses or what others think of her. She doesn't tie her happiness to outcomes, which leaves her immune to the emotional traps that most people fall into. When others are paralyzed by the possibility of loss, she remains steady and clear-headed, making decisions that empower her rather than keep her stuck in fear. This freedom from fear makes her a threat to the system that thrives on dependency and emotional control. The matrix can't hold power over someone who is unafraid to lose what it offers, because to her, loss is just another opportunity for growth, not a weakness to exploit. The Sigma female's strength lies in her refusal to fear what others desperately cling to, making her truly untouchable. Number 10. Her curiosity disarms the system. The Sigma female's curiosity is a weapon that the matrix can't defend against. While most people accept the surface-level narratives they're fed, believing what they're told, following the script laid out for them, she doesn't take anything at face value. She questions everything. Whether it's the stories society pushes, the so-called facts, or the beliefs people hold as truth, she digs deeper, peeling back layers to reveal the hidden motives and agendas beneath. This relentless questioning is what sets her apart. She doesn't accept the world as it is because she knows that what's visible is rarely the full picture. Where others mindlessly conform, she seeks out the cracks in the facade. She challenges the narrative the matrix tries to sell, asking the uncomfortable questions no one else dares to ask. Why does the system demand conformity? Who benefits from it? What happens if we choose to see things differently? Her ability to uncover these weaknesses makes her a threat to the system. The Matrix relies on people's ignorance, feeding them simple, controlled versions of reality that keep them docile. But the Sigma female refuses to be blind to the lies. She doesn't stop at the answers people give her. She digs until she uncovers the truth that the system is trying to hide. This curiosity disarms the Matrix because it exposes its cracks and forces it to show its true face. It can't maintain control over someone who's constantly questioning and looking beyond the surface. While most people stay trapped in the narrative, the Sigma female's unyielding pursuit of knowledge allows her to break free of its grip. Her curiosity doesn't just make her smarter, it makes her dangerous to the system that thrives on keeping people in the dark. The Matrix can't control the Sigma female because she doesn't play by its rules. She doesn't follow the crowd, seek approval, or let fear dictate her choices. Her strength lies in her independence, her ability to think critically, and her refusal to be trapped by the limitations the system tries to impose. She doesn't need external validation to feel worthy, and she's not swayed by the false promises of success that the Matrix peddles. She's a force that thrives on her own terms, and that's what makes her so dangerous to a system built on conformity and control. If you're reading this and resonating with these points, then you're likely one of them, a Sigma female. You don't fit into society's predefined boxes, and you never will. Your path isn't linear, and that's not a weakness, it's your power. You see through the illusions the Matrix tries to create, and instead of accepting things as they are, you rewrite the rules according to your own values. Embrace this uniqueness. Don't apologize for questioning the world around you or for choosing a path that isn't the one most people are following. Your ability to think independently, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to remain true to yourself is the key to breaking free of the Matrix's grip. The world needs more women like you, women who see the cracks in the system and refuse to be part of it. Keep questioning, keep challenging, and most importantly, keep leading yourself. Take care and see you in our next video. God bless.